I get scammed everywhere else in my life, and now I have to get scammed for food. All right. Only the Costco hot dog has been loyal. Have you seen $20 Burrito Discourse? Wait, what? I can't believe I live in a world where my only lunch option is a $20 burrito, says Dan Crenshaw. I only know him as the guy that Hassan did a bit on. Not true. Republicans eat Donald Trump's ass every day for free. Also, what the fuck is he talking about? I can't believe I live in a world where my only lunch option is $20 burrito. What? Like, I literally don't understand. I live in LA, and there are plenty of lunch options that are not $20 burrito. What? You are disgusting big. Notice how I am disgusting when you guys are the ones eating at the Cheesecake Factory. It's crazy. Hard to swallow pills. Oh, wait. No, he wasn't saying cheesecake. Cheek cake. Certain parts of California prices are crazy. Yeah, but like, personally, I feel like in LA, yeah, all of the like the brick and mortar places are expensive, but like the food trucks are really cheap. Like if you go to a place that's like the signage looks really old, you're getting like $2 tacos. You get like 4 of those bad boys and you're full. Like I don't. Also, let me say food in Texas is so cheap. The couple times I've been to Texas, I would not live there because I don't like Texas, but I don't like Texas politics. I don't like Texas representatives. I don't like the flatness in Texas. I don't like the weather in Texas. There's so much that I don't like in Texas. I'm sorry if you live in Texas, by the way. I'm so sorry if you live in Texas. But let me tell you guys, the Ubers and the food in Texas is so cheap. Oh my God. It's so cheap. It's dope. Or like if you live in New York, yeah, if you go into a restaurant, the restaurant will be expensive, but like the halal carts are like $12 a plate for more food than you're gonna need all day. When did you come here last? Like last year, I want to say I went to Texas. I want to say last year, but I've been there like 3 or 4 times over the past 5 years. Oh, apparently he's not complaining about the $20 burritos. He's making fun of someone else who complained about a $20 burrito. The discourse itself is not interesting. Just those Derek tweets are funny. Oh, okay, never mind. All right. He's saying that the people complaining about the prices of everything are only buying $20 burritos for lunch because he's a loser. Oh. Matt Walsh complained about the cost of food. Someone responded, I fed my family with eight with cheap burritos. It was only $20. Nothing wrong with the economy. People just need to learn how to cook. What is this discourse? Oh my God. He said, shut up and eat ramen. Oh, okay. Outgoing congressman said, outgoing. Sure, man. Why not? Sure, man. We'll call him that. You know what? Why not? Says to eat ramen and stop complaining about rising prices.
Doing nothing about this, and regular innocent Americans' health insurance premiums double. They're not going to be able to pay.
What? Why did it stop? Okay. Oh, okay. Representative Dan Crenshaw ignited a social media uproar by dismissing voter concerns about the affordability crisis, specifically regarding the cost of a $20 burrito. Crenshaw, who recently lost his primary election, advised people to stop whining, get a job, and eat ramen when faced with high prices, drawing criticism for his unsympathetic stance. His comments, labeled rage bait, provoked widespread anger and derision, particularly from fellow conservatives who highlighted his past contradictory statements on inflation. Several people pointed to the Republicans' own contradictory past output on the same subject in 2021 when he had written, America, our food prices are too high. What are you doing about inflation? Biden administration, just be vegan and stop complaining. Oh, that's great. Thank you. Thank you for the context.
Turning now to Burrito Gate. If you're lucky enough not to be as online as me, you have no idea what I'm talking about. You're really going to love this segment. Basically, what happened is very recently a debate broke out amongst conservative influencers around the cost of burritos. And it stems from a tweet from Andrew Clavette, who's of the Charlie Kirk Show, where he said...
I just think in general, it's not a good look as a representative to tell your constituents to stop complaining. Their job is to complain, and your job is to make their life better. When your constituents complain, your job isn't to tell them to stop complaining. Like, you can think your constituents are wrong, but it doesn't matter. You're there to serve them. So serve them.
That one of his TPUSA members had told him a burrito should not cost $20. Obviously, that was not just about the burrito. It was largely about affordability, the cost of groceries, which are up 43% over the last 5 years, and generally the feeling that life is far too expensive. It was also paired with a criticism of the Iran war, which has driven up gas prices and made the affordability crisis even worse. All of this, of course, the neocons took great offense to, saying that if you are complaining about this, you are a spoiled little rich millennial, or you are a spoiled millennial. You are not rich because of your own failings. Actually, you shouldn't even be buying said burrito unless.
So the burrito discourse is just the avocado toast discourse again. Is that right?
You're independently wealthy. Shapiro being the loudest of these voices. Let's take a listen.
So Andrew Colvett over at TPUSA, he tweeted out today, one of our TPUSA college...
Okay, I'm going to say something brave. The problem with when I think about a working class person complaining about food being expensive, what I think of is someone who works somewhere that has no good food nearby. So if you live in New York or you live in LA or you live in like a major city, usually there's restaurants near you, but there's usually also like food trucks around every other corner. When you live like kind of in the middle of nowhere, there's only chains. And it kind of sucks, especially if you work in like a strip mall next to a fucking freeway. Your only option is probably the food that's like in the strip mall. So if the only other option is like you can have McDonald's or Chipotle, and you don't have the energy or the time or whatever to bring food from home, yeah, I'm not really shocked that you would go for Chipotle. I moved to a smaller city. It's either fast food or you cook for yourself. And the Chipotle burritos are like, they approach $20. They're like $12, $15. I haven't been to a Chipotle in years, so I don't remember. And then that's what you eat every day for lunch. And you're like, damn, this thing blows.
Students gave me his take on affordability.
I understand if they would complain about avocado toast. So let me say two things. One, avocado toast is not what's stopping people from buying homes. But two, I love the mini game of looking at avocado toast prices. Like on principle, I cannot pay any amount of money above like $5 for avocado toast. It's just so obscene. Unless they're doing something crazy to the avocado toast, I can't. Like maybe if they're like blistering some tomatoes and putting some feta and some honey and there's like a side of salad or something, then maybe that's worthwhile for like $15. But like with like, yeah, I've seen some that like they'll put 2 poached eggs on top. It's like, okay, you know what? Fine. You made like a meal, but some places will straight up charge you $13 for just avocado toast. I refuse to buy avocado toast on principle. Like, it's a principled stance for me. It's the same thing with panna cotta. I refuse to buy panna cotta at a restaurant. I will never buy panna cotta. Once I made my own panna cotta once, I was like, this is the easiest thing to make in the world. I am never paying. And panna cotta is always priced the exact same as other desserts that require way more work. It's like if I'm paying $8 for a dessert or whatever, I'm not paying for something that you mix 2 ingredients together and then you just put it in the fridge. I can do that. Maybe I would pay for some tiramisu because you had to soak the ladyfingers. You had to, sprinkle some espresso on. You had to, mix the mascarpone and then you had to layer it. Like at least you had to do something, right? But panna cotta, and then the panna cotta will be the same price. It's like, fuck you. I'm not paying that. Fuck you. Ladyfingers, question mark? Finger what? You guys don't know about... These guys in chat, you guys have never fucking taken a baking class before or something? No, panna cotta is like unbelievably easy. You are being scammed if you ever pay for panna cotta at a restaurant. Do not buy panna cotta. Do not. Straight up, do not. It's literally heavy cream, whole milk, sugar, flavor, gelatin, mixed and fridged. I'm not joking. Cream, sugar, extra flavor. You mix it and you put it in the fridge and then you take it out. It's just, imagine paying $8 for Jell-O. Can you imagine that? It's like 50 cents a serving. It's less than that even. Can you imagine and the restaurants will try, it'll be like the panna cotta is like $12 and then the tiramisu is also $12 and the size is about the same. And it's like, what if it's flan? Flan requires some effort. You have to actually heat the flan to a certain temperature so that you cook the eggs that were mixed into the flan. and then let it cook in the oven, and then you fridge it. At least you have to use fire, okay? All right? Panna cotta is literally, you just mix cream and sugar and like vanilla extract, and then you fridge it. That's it. Like, it's so easy. It's such a scam. Thanks. Now my panna cotta restaurant will fail. I like how you spelled it totally incorrectly. I like how you spelled it panna cotta. Spelled Panna spacebar Cotta. It's actually less work. Ice cream is more work. Ice cream is actually more work than panna cotta is. I'm not joking, guys. Maybe it'd be better to just show you guys what it looks like. I have to save people from the curse that is buying panna cotta. You understand?
If you're looking to impress your guests at the holiday table this year, you need to make them this panna cotta. The best part is this silky and creamy dessert is simple to make, and our version is completely plant-based.
If you're unfamiliar with panna cotta, it's an Italian dessert made by thickening and sweetening cream with gelatin and sugar and then molded. It can be flavored by various ingredients, but today we're keeping it simple and making a vanilla version.
As you may or may not know, gelatin is made from animal bones, skin, and cartilage, so we'll be avoiding that and using agar-agar instead. But don't worry, it's just a simple swap and no additional steps are required. Since
the panna cotta has to set overnight, we use this extra time to prepare
That's it. Also, there's vegan heavy cream. I didn't know about that. Be careful, big panna cotta is going to have you assassinated for blowing the whistle on this. You're using live agar? Hopefully they're not using regular white sugar. It's not vegan. Shut up. Anyway, sorry. Continuing. That's the one thing that I'm like, it's a principled stance for me. Okay? All right? It's about the principle. All right?
A burrito shouldn't cost $20. Yeah, a lot of this is a hangover from COVID and Biden-era inflation, but the lived experience is the same. It just feels like basic things cost too much. So,
actually, that's like a very reasonable position.
Obviously, I agree. Things cost more than they should, but let's start from the beginning here. A burrito for $20? That's where we're starting? A burrito for $20. There is literally only one way in the United States of America in this year, 2026, for a burrito to cost $20. You went to a kind of expensive restaurant. A burrito at Chipotle probably tops out about $13. A top shelf burrito option at Taco Bell, we have been informed by our intrepid Daily Wire Taco Bell correspondent Brad Bishop, runs $5.99 plus tax for the Avocado Ranch Crispy Chicken Burrito, which he also reports is jaw-droppingly delicious. But let us also pretend that you're just a poor young student.
Is this an attempt to be like more accessible to the youngins?
As I once was, or say you're a dude.
Okay, can I say something? I don't know if they have Sharkies in other states or which other states they have it, but someone in my life put me on Sharkies, and Sharkies has an expensive burrito that actually is really good. And when I'm feeling like I spent a whole day working, like I sat at my fucking computer and I was just in the editing dungeon for like 12 hours straight, I do sometimes treat myself to an expensive burrito. They have this like steak burrito that's really good. It's actually so fucking good. Got ever heard of Sharkies? It's with a Y, and it's so good. They have it's called the Fiesta burrito with the steak. It's so fucking good. But even that one's like $17. But it's like a huge burrito. Like I can't even eat the whole thing in one go. It ends up being 2 meals for me. So I have like half of it for lunch and then half of it for dinner. Because they really pack that burrito. But it's so fucking good.
Who is just starting his work life and wants some upward mobility, like I once was.
Is my donation for the lawsuit to feed your giant burrito addiction? Maybe.
Here's what you do if you want a burrito. You head on down to the supermarket.
Good thing they're not called Snarkies.
I'm going to give you today's prices via Instacart. Okay? You buy some tortillas for about $4 for a package of 10. You also grab a can of refried beans for a couple of $1.50. And then you grab some cheese, some salsa, maybe an avocado. And then you microwave some of that stuff. Boom. You're talking a burrito that's pretty good for less than $2, like 1/10 of the price that student is talking about. 1/10, $2. So what the hell are we even talking about here? But unfortunately, this has become the mode for a lot of young people. Why can't I afford what my parents could afford when they were my age? Spoiler alert, when it comes to groceries, you can. And in areas, by the way, for housing, where deregulation has been the rule, you still can. In fact, you have today more restaurant options. Your food costs less of your disposable income, and it is probably significantly better. Back in 1950, your grandparents were consuming on average about 1,000 calories less per day than you do now. And as far as food expenditure as a share of family disposable income in the United States, look at this. And basically, that has been flatlined since the mid-90s at well under 10%. If you go back to when your parents were doing this, it was like 13, 14, 15%. But we're constantly being told that we can't even afford food, which is a wild exaggeration.
It's a wild.
No, it's the fact that, like, when's the last time he was in a grocery store? Exactly. The thing is, it's not impossible to keep your grocery bill under a certain amount. It's that you have to limit yourself in a way that feels fucked up when you work like a 40-hour work week. Like, do you not contribute to the people who work 40-hour work weeks, especially if you work in like the hot ass fucking sun, dude? Do you not contribute enough to society that you shouldn't be able to just go to the grocery store and when you want to buy chicken, you can buy chicken? And you want to buy vegetables and fruit, you can buy vegetables and fruit? Like, why is it that people need to go and start coupon clipping and start like, okay, well, the chicken is too expensive this week and the eggs are too expensive this week, so let me only get like the canned beans, and then I guess I'll get like just like one big bag of instant rice, and that's what I'll just eat for this week. It's like, why is it that people need to live like that? Like, if you work a 40-hour work week every week, clearly you work a job that is required by society, whether that's working at a coffee shop or working at a firm or paving the road. Shouldn't you be able to go to the grocery store and be like, oh, I think I'm feeling some like skirt steak this week. I'm going to buy some like herbs. I'm going to get some cilantro, parsley. Oh, I think we're lacking some olive oil. I'll get some more of that, some garlic. Yeah, I'm going to make a nice skirt steak this weekend. Like, why do you have to go in there and be like, well, this is too expensive and this is too expensive and this is too expensive and this is... All right, well, I guess I just back to beans and rice again. Cilantro is crazy. True. Some non-diarrhea greens. My close friend and her husband are both PhDs working in STEM. They have a young daughter. Between medical bills, childcare, and mortgage, they are paycheck to paycheck. That's insane. I just don't understand the world where, like, if you don't... And I think everybody has maybe met someone who spends a little bit crazy. If you spend a reasonable amount of money, you don't really buy luxury goods. Maybe you pay for, like, a AAA game every couple months, not even once a month. And you don't really buy anything outside of that. Like, you don't really go out of your way to, like, swipe your card all of the time on a million different things. And somehow going to the grocery store is still expensive. Like, isn't that bad? Isn't that a bad thing? I don't mean to be bold, but I think if you don't spend a lot of your money on, like, luxury goods, or you spend, like, basically none, you don't eat out, you don't go out for dinner, you don't go out for drinks, you should be able to go to the grocery store, get everything you want to get, pay, and not spend $300 just to, like, what? Have, like, chicken that week.
Exaggeration. So if you've been to the grocery store and you've noticed that prices are up, it's a wild exaggeration. Also note that Ben didn't put meat in that little medley that he calls a burrito there. So let's actually take a look at the data. Let's put D6 up here on the screen. Here we go. Grocery prices 5 years ago. What do we see? Oh, interesting. The price of food purchased for home use from 2019 through June 2026 is up 33%. Consumers are now buying fewer of their favorite foods or less food overall, which might explain why actually that you might be spending the same percent of your income on food, but you're actually buying worse food for you. Now, another thing, Americans have become a lot more health conscious.
Isn't that so crazy? Wow. People are buying less of their favorite foods and less food overall, and yet they're spending, how much is this? Let's see, it goes from 10 to 35, 3 times as much. Oh, it says 33%. Wow, isn't that crazy? Whoa. Also, why don't they mention shrinkflation? Everything costs more because they give you less. Yup. One chatter said, my ex-roommate, who I helped co-sign her a car for her, went 7 months without paying the car, but note she would constantly eat out, get her nails done, get her hair done, and she completely ruined my credit. I'm so sorry. Yeah. And, like, you just can't shut up, Skulls. Just can't debate the points, can't you? Every poor should only get one bean with no meat every other day and suffer for the rest. That's how life is supposed to be. I've heard from actual people friends and not the filthy poor. Trust me, I know what the filthy poor need. It's fucking nuts. I just went out to get cat food, lunch, and a few dress shirts for a wedding trip next weekend, and I literally spent $150. Yay! You mean you don't like to do that? You mean you don't like to do that? Like, let me just say, coming from someone, all right, I never get my nails done. Mostly, admittedly, it's because I don't like sitting in a salon. I will admit, I want the nails. I just don't want to sit there for an hour. So I don't do my nails. Okay? The best I can do is keep them clean and short. And sometimes I will put on a simple, like one simple color. But that's because I don't want to have to go to the nail salon and then sit there. And then there's this like, they try to talk to you. And then you're like, yeah, haha. No, I'm just wanted to get them done. You know, I'm not doing it. And I just don't. I can't. It's the same reason that I hate going to the hair salon. It's like the prospect of sitting there for hours. It's just, I hate it. I hate it so bad. I like talking to the people. I just don't like sitting there and you're stuck. You know, you're just like, that's it. That time has been committed. You can't uncommit that time. Get a friend who will do your nails in their house. True. Honestly, true. What was I going to say? Yes. I was going to say something. Got my nails done for the first time getting married tomorrow, and they had 4 screens playing 4 different crime shows, and they were playing country music. I'm never going back. I know. Just between the sound and the smell, I can't do it, man. It's just like, it's like a sensory nightmare in there, man. And they always they don't even do a good job either, I feel like. They always fuck up my cuticles when I go in. Sometimes they just paint on my cuticle. I feel like I've been to so many places and they all fuck it up. So I'm tired of going. I used to pay $210 for a decent amount of groceries. Now it costs almost $300. I also generally like to eat the same exact things. Not looking so good for the rad score right now, I'm going to be honest. Don't like going to salons because of the sensory nightmare. Eat the same meal over and over again. What was I trying to say? Oh, I don't DoorDash. Also, personally, it's a personal reason I don't DoorDash, which is I just don't feel like it's worth. I know that DoorDash is skimming off the top, and the driver isn't getting it, and the restaurant isn't getting it, and some other piece of shit is getting it. So I don't DoorDash. I don't Uber Eats ever. The only time I make that exception is if I have guests over, which happens maybe a couple times a year at most. And I don't do it outside of that. And also I have terrible DoorDash luck. We DoorDashed. I was over at a friend's place. The 5 of us all DoorDashed. And the only order that didn't come in was mine, by the way. They gave me my coleslaw and that was it. And I was like, so where's maybe somebody else has it? Let me see. 1, 2. Yeah, I don't think mine came. I have terrible DoorDash luck. One time I DoorDashed, I don't even know how this happened, a Taco Bell Crunchwrap Supreme, and there was no meat inside of it. And I double checked my order. I'm maybe I wrote no meat or something, and it's there. It says meat there. So I have really bad. I DoorDashed Panda Express once, and it was missing one of the entrees. I have such bad DoorDash luck. There's always something wrong. There's always something missing, or there's something wrong with my meal. Or whatever. DoorDash drivers fucking skimming. But how would they have skimmed the meat out of my Crunchwrap Supreme? They opened it in the car, they licked it clean, and then they closed it? How would they have done that, you know? Very carefully, Denims. So yeah, I feel like I besides the fact that I'm also really unlucky with DoorDash orders, that's I roll nat ones exclusively with DoorDash orders. One's got a Big Mac with the patty is the bread and the bread is the patty. That's pretty funny, actually. I would be pissed if they forgot my orange chicken. I'm pretty sure they did, but anyways, moving on. So besides my terrible luck, I know I'm being scammed. There are some things that on principle, I cannot pay for because I just know that it's a complete scam. Like, there's some asshole profiting off of this entire exchange of goods. And it's not delivery that I have a problem with, to be clear. Because I remember back in my day, before the advent of Uber Eats, you would just call the pizza parlor and they would deliver it and you would just tip the driver like $5. They'd bike over and then you'd be like, oh, thanks, man, here you go. And then you just give them $5. And it was like a $15 pizza or whatever. It came quickly. It was always good. And then you could just tip the driver directly with cash. And like DoorDash, it's like the pizza goes from being $15 to being $40. And then the driver got like $1 of tip. It's like, what? What the fuck? Fry's whole job in Futurama? I know. Yet another industry ruined by private equity? Yeah, but how do I make room for a middleman that way? Back in my day, we used to throw rocks at each other. Shut up. But anyway, so yeah, I just like, on principle, I feel like I can't DoorDash. You know what I mean? Like, it's just my opinion. If everyone would be respectful about my opinion. There's something else I was going to say. If you're someone who doesn't DoorDash, you don't like get your nails done, you don't use Prize Picks or whatever, you don't like have any expensive hobbies, you don't go out and eat, you don't do any of that stuff, shouldn't you be able to go to the grocery store and just buy what you want? If in all of these other aspects of your life, you don't spend money, shouldn't you be able to go to the grocery store and be like, you know what? Yeah, I do want skirt steak. But, you know what? No, I do want to make some shawarma. Let me get some chicken. No, I really do want that. Like, shouldn't you be able to just go pick out a meat that you want? You're like, I actually want pork chops for dinner today. And not worry that the pork chops are going to be $500? Like, what the fuck? Shouldn't you be able to? I don't understand.
Ryan, so some of the stuff you and I grew up eating, we would never feed to our children. I can raise my hand and say that. What's a half gallon of grass-fed milk go for right now?
Oh God,
$7.50.
Yes.
$7.50, $8 a gallon. You want 18 pasture-raised eggs? That's going to cost you maybe $10, $15, depending on where you're buying it from. People would say, "Hey, organic food has always been more expensive." Okay, I choose to do that because I want my daughter to have a healthy brain. Not saying judging or anybody out there who can't afford it. I'm just saying, if you...
His cigar does CPS. He did CPS. Okay, guys, I will admit, I do have one in exchange for no DoorDash. There is one thing that I buy that's really good. It's expensive, but it's good. Weed. No, I don't do weed. I do weed once in a while. Once in like a blue moon. Mostly because I have a lot of work I always want to get done, and I can't do work when I'm weeding. You know what I mean? Also makes me so hungry. But no. There is one item that I pay a primo price for. And I know it's more, I like my suffering raw, no weed. There's one product that I pay a primo price for, but it feels worth it for me. And that is the Fairlife skim milk. But the macros are so fucking good. I can't help it, man. Now, I know what people are thinking. Skim milk. Ew, what the fuck is wrong with you? No, you guys don't understand. You haven't had the Fairlife skim milk. I have been an anti skim milk. I didn't even like normal store milk. Because okay, so I'm pretty sure, chat, past year has been me sort of coming to terms very slowly with the fact that I'm almost certainly, definitely lactose intolerant. But if I never test for it and I also ignore it, it will hurt me, and then I will pretend like it's not hurting me. So if I'm going to enjoy milk, I don't want like the normal gallon milk. And so for a while I was only drinking organic milk. And I will say, I feel like most products, you can't tell the difference between normal and organic, but organic milk, it's so rich. Organic milk is so fucking rich. And I recently switched from that to the ultra filtered milk. And I gotta tell you guys, man, the macros are insane on ultra filtered milk. I know that there are other companies that also do the ultra filtered milk. The brand is not relevant. But this is here are the macros of normal milk. Girl, just keep some chewable lactate tabs. I mean, I do that already. Usually it just makes my tummy hurt. That's it. I'm just like, ah. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I'm fine. So even if I don't, it's like not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, ultra filtered milk is dope, okay? Let me pull up this normal whole milk nutrition. Okay, these are the macros on normal whole milk. Normal nutrition. Normal nutrition facts for normal whole milk. 150 calories, 8 grams of protein. These are the macros for the ultra filtered milk. 80 calories, 13 grams of protein. Yeah. Yeah. And I know what you guys are thinking. That probably tastes awful. It doesn't. It's actually so good. But to be fair, I don't drink milk by the glass. So maybe if you drink milk by the glass, you would feel a difference. I only consume milk with my cereal. Try almond milk. Almond milk doesn't have the same protein, and the macros on soy are also not as good. I was on almond milk for a little bit, and then I saw the macros on this, and I was like, these are too good. These macros are too good. Like oat milk, soy protein milk, almond milk, none of them get close to these macros. So I gotta tell you guys, if you care about getting your protein, this stuff is so good, dude. Yeah, I only use milk for my coffee, for my cereal. That's it. And I have not noticed a difference between the two. Isn't there an Aldi version of Fairlife? There's a million different versions of Fairlife. I wouldn't go out of your way to support Fairlife, considering the brand sucks. But it's more so that the Fairlife has popularized ultra filtered milk, and now other companies are creating ultra filtered milk as well, and it's so dope. Yeah, it's owned by Coke. That's why I'm like, I think Fairlife was the first company that started pushing ultra filtered milk that has these dope ass macros. But there are a bunch of other companies that are making dupes now, which is why I want to talk about it. So if you can find a company near you or a store near you that has it, it's so good, dude. It's so good. So anyways, was that an ad read? No. I mean, considering that I specifically said don't support Fairlife, no. Yeah. And I will tell you guys, for the purpose of cereal, the flavor is not going from my organic milk to going to the protein milk. It tastes exactly the same. It literally tastes exactly the same. Cereal is just so unhealthy and processed, I feel like. Yeah, but I like having it in the morning. So I really want to know what's wrong with the macros on soy. It's more so that soy milk tastes like soy. It tastes like soy. It doesn't have a neutral taste. I think the closest milk to having a neutral taste is oat milk. But the sad thing about oat milk is that it's very micronutrient devoid. So soy milk is great if you're making a coffee and you want a nutty milk in there, a nutty milk flavor in there. But if you're having it with cereal, it's all you can taste is cereal. Or sorry, is the soy milk. And then unfortunately, oat milk doesn't have the protein. And it's also very devoid of micronutrients, which is sad. Yeah, oat milk is secretly terrible for you. But it sucks because it's the best tasting plant-based milk. Maybe they've since made really good oat protein milk or something, but it has fiber, but just fiber. It just doesn't have anything else in it is all. Why is it bad for you? Again, it just doesn't have anything else in it other than fiber. It's just missing micronutrients. It's just not. Maybe if they make fortified oat milk, it'd be pretty good. Does it have any weird texture? No. I've never had a milk that's had a weird texture before. Coconut milk sometimes will have that texture if you get it you guys know the cartons of milk that stay warm because they have preservatives or whatever in them. Those sometimes the coconut milk will have a weird texture. Oat milk has never had a weird texture for me. Almond milk has never had a weird texture. So anyways, that's enough of that topic. I don't want to devolve into bean soup territory. where the conversation becomes like, well, I like that recipe and everything, but can you make a bean soup recipe without any beans in it? I don't like beans. I don't eat any beans. I was just sharing. This is the one thing that I like to. I know that the ultra filtered milk is more expensive, but it's worth every penny. It's worth every penny for the good ass macros, man.
Want to buy a little bit healthier option, you've actually seen the skyrocketing costs in that as well. So altogether, especially whenever you put not just healthy options, let's put that off the table, even just, you know, wholesale beef prices up dramatically under the Trump presidency, and especially from the beginning of 2020. But this basically comes down to their message of, if you're mad about the cost of living increase on the Iran war, you're a surrender monkey, and you are somebody who is, you know, pro-Iran nuclear weapon. That's why they're going so hard about this. So, for example, let's put D3 up here on the screen. Here is Mark Thiessen, one of the preeminent neocons in Washington, responding to the a burrito shouldn't cost $20. Mark says, cry me a river. The burritos in the college cafeteria are included in your meal plan. He later spazzed out after the vice president, let's put his tweet up here on the screen, said, what did he say? He said, I'm surprised to hear Mark say this. If you've ever met him in person, it's quite obvious the man has never missed a burrito. That's definitely true. I've seen Mark in person a few times. And fat shaming aside, which is always healthy whenever we're talking about somebody who is trying to send your sons and daughter to a war.
Also, meal plan. The universities I went to didn't have meal plans that I could rely on. I had to pay out of pocket for the school cafeteria. Maybe people who were dorming, they had meal plans. I went to a commuter school. So I paid out of pocket for that.
Self wouldn't even qualify for military service. Whenever we look at this, you know, grotesque creature on our screens who says things like, we're not a real superpower if you can't afford $4 gasoline, and who brags about how he worked his way through college in the 1980s, and tells people, cry me a river, you should go and eat at your cafeteria. What they're saying is, if you're mad about the cost of living concern, number one, it was Biden's fault, and number two, you are offering surrender to Iran. That's why they're going so hard right now, Ryan. And this connects me back to the original attack that we had on Al Sayed, where he's out here being like, I want things to cost less. I want your health. But, you know, we don't even talk about healthcare premium. Mine went up by 24% year over year. Okay, cool. No saying that or any of that. I know my in-laws, I remember theirs was up by.
And the thing is, I think people wouldn't give a shit about grocery prices increasing if everything else was staying the same or going down. But like, it's not like you can choose to get a different healthcare plan that would cost significantly less. You're kind of like fucked. Not that healthcare plans aren't different, but almost every single healthcare company and insurance company is trying to fucking scam you. Same thing with the pay that you get at your job. Same thing with the rent that you have to pay for your housing. And then when all of that shit adds up and then you go to the grocery store and stuff is supposed to be, this should be one of the few places where things don't cost $1 million that you need to live off of. I think it's easy to be like, hello? Is it not enough that I get scammed for my housing? I get scammed with my utilities. I get scammed with my insurance, with my health care. I get scammed everywhere else in my life. And now I have to get scammed for food. All right. Only the Costco hot dog has been loyal.
Like 400%. Before they have to qualify for Medicare. But that's my point, is that you don't even talk about this stuff now anymore whenever it comes to affordability. And it's especially hard because, as you and I know, a conservative meme, which became very effective under the Biden presidency, was like at the gas pump, you know, in some boomer Republican would put a sticker of Biden being like, I did that. Yep. Which was effective. I mean, it absolutely was. Or when we would talk about groceries, what's his name? The Republican governor of Virginia, Glenn Youngkin, he ran in Virginia on reducing the grocery tax. Right. Like that was a central pillar of his campaign. And now prices are high and remain high under Trump. It's, actually, it's your fault. You're a spoiled little loser if you want to afford a cheap burrito.
And we already did this whole thing 10 years ago with avocado toast.
Yeah,
the whole reason the millennials are falling behind is not because the complete erosion of the public welfare and the kind of seizing of wealth by the top 0.1%.
Sorry, I just like processed who I was looking at. That's enough of that.